What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Miami Miles, and welcome for the very first time to two V12 Supercars at the same damn time. Guys, this is super exciting because I've gotten my hands on the two best V12 Supercars in the entire world. To my left, the Lamborghini Aventador S, and to my right, the Ferrari F12 Superfast. Guys, I am absolutely stunned at this opportunity because I finally get to find out for $500,000 which car I would buy. As a matter of fact, I've never driven either one of these two cars. I've got no idea what they're like. I've got no idea if they give me the fizz, if they give me the hands that come up from underneath the seats, you know, and rub me in all the right places. So today we're gonna walk around the cars, and I'm gonna show you which car looks better. Then we're gonna jump inside and we're gonna look at the interiors. Before I go though, we're gonna start them up and rev. I wanna hear which V12 sounds better. And then guys, then we're gonna come to the crescendo, the climax. We're gonna take both of these cars out on the road and we're gonna, you know, we're gonna drive them, we're gonna tear them up. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Anyways, let's get right into it. So let's start with the Aventador S, the most iconic Lamborghini to date, with these delicious fighter jet inspired headlights, which to this day, even though they're 10 years old, look so stunning. I can't even believe how beautiful this car is, but the thing about the Aventador S that sets it apart is this little shark fin. This shark fin was incorporated by Lamborghini to give us an additional 130% downforce and to redesign the front fascia and actually make the Aventador S look different than the Aventador. From the front, this car is stunning. But to be frank, it's not my favorite angle. Come with me to the side of the car. Oh my goodness. First, we start with the legendary scissor doors, which, you know, make me feel like I'm worth $1 billion. But guys, check out these wheels and tires. We start with the Dioni wheels with the carbon ceramic brakes and the red brake caliper. I love how they spec'd that color combination along with this pearl white paint. I don't know the name of the color, but it's stunning. I love the pearl white. And then they option the carbon fiber mirrors and the carbon fiber roof. Now, this is a roadster. I could only get my hands on a roadster. I wish I would have gotten the coupe. This car is 200 pounds heavier than the coupe. Nonetheless, you're able to lower the little window behind the driver's head and get some extra sound coming through. So I think I did get the more exciting of the two propositions. But anyways, we've got the carbon fiber on the roof, and to the side, guys, look at this. Look at this vent. That's perhaps the biggest hole I've ever seen. Oh my, I could fit my head in it. Guys, it's huge. It's huge. And that's what makes this look so iconic. And driving the car up here, everyone was whipping out their cell phones, jumping in front of the car. It's the thing about Lamborghini. The moment you drive them, people see these vents, these angles, and they are blown away. I love this. But guys, I'm gonna take you now to my favorite angle of the car, the rear. The rear, you know, it's normally my favorite angle, but very much so here. And I love how the Roadster has these little cutouts with glass behind displaying that 6.5 liter V12 producing 730 horsepower. I love the engine bay, and I love how it slopes down into this rear spoiler that's got 3 positions. You know, 3 positions this thing has, and I love how it's integrated into the rear. The rear continues to look like it's fighter jet inspired, and I love how it comes together in this hexagonal, you know, I'm not an American guy, so I don't know how to say it, hexagonal exhaust. Nonetheless, guys, look at that. Look at that! I love that about the Aventador S. The Aventador S has perhaps one of the most elegant looking rear ends that's also aggressive, futuristic. It's awe-inspiring. It's a work of art. And guys, when you see this on the road, it's unmistakable, and I think this car, for the next, I don't know, 100 years, will be an absolute legend. But guys, before I get too carried away about all the sexy angles of this car, let's jump inside and check out the interior, and then hopefully we'll be able to walk around the A12. Oh, oh man, dude, I love climbing into the cockpit of a Lamborghini because the moment you get in, you just feel so special. First, you notice this sloping roofline that gives you barely any space between the roof and this center console to look out. It makes you feel like you are in the Batmobile, which I love. Now, guys, what are the standing out features about this interior? Well, I think the most important thing is this area right here. This area right here has the legendary Aventador steering wheel, and it's got these delicious paddles. Oh God, they're metal. They give you this satisfactory click. I absolutely love them. But I want to show you the thing I love most about the interior. Well, if we open up this little switch, we put our foot on the brake, we hit the start button. Ah, the V12 beast fires to life. And I'm gonna go ahead and move this over to Corsa mode and give you guys a couple of revs. So let's hit it. I think this is the quintessential rev car. This is the car that you could sit there and rev and just enjoy it, and not only put a smile on your face, but on everyone's face around you. I love how that V12 sounds, and that just gives you so much drama, so much emotion just in that short minute. And even though I'm seated in this super cool cockpit, this is all simple. Like, you could literally neglect all this because it looks like it's 10 years old. It's honestly quite crappy for $500,000, but who cares? I was able to fire it up by doing this and hear that V12. So overall, the interior is very simple. It's very ergonomically friendly. Like, there's nothing unfriendly about it besides the fact that it doesn't have a lot of space. And I think it's something you can live with every day, but it's just not special, right? It's not special in here until you fire it up. But guys, let's go over to the 812, take a look at that and see if it's any better. So now let's take a look at the 812 Superfast. The first thing we see when looking at this car is just how long, look at that, look at how long this front hood is. It's the most impressive thing about the front of the vehicle. I think, to be frank, that the 812 is a little bit reserved, perhaps too reserved for my liking for $500,000, but the fact that it's got this huge hood and underneath is nestled the 6.5 liter V12 producing 800 horsepower is incredible. Now, as we go down here, we'll see this front fascia, which looks like it's smiling at you. Let me do an impression. Look at that. Look at that. It looks like a smiling vampire or something. I love that. And this car, because whoever ordered it must have been in the mafia or the runner or the owner of a drug cartel, ended up speccing red carbon fiber tint throughout the entire car. That probably cost more than my house, more than my cars, more than my entire net worth. That is insane. So the front of the car overall in the 812 is very reserved compared to the Aventador, but I do like it. I do think it's elegant, and I think that it could be just a little bit better in terms of its aggressiveness and in terms of how it sets itself apart from other cars at $500,000. Nonetheless, as we come around the side, things take a turn for the better. Namely, these gorgeous wheels. I love the Superfast wheels. I may have not spec'd them in chrome. I would have probably done them in black. Nonetheless, I think that they're gorgeous, and I love how they did the carbon ceramics with the red brake calipers, which tie in the Scuderia. The Scuderia, that's $86,000 when you spec with Ferrari. This would be the only option I'd probably spec if I were to get one of these. But yeah, the side's pretty cool. I mean, quintessential V12 front engine Ferrari. As we come here, we have these cool vents that are fully functional. I don't know what they cool or what they do, but they look very good. And then guys, then we come around to my favorite angle, which is the rear of this car. And the rear is what I wish was sprinkled throughout the rest of the car. It gives us all of the aggression. It gives us all of the emotion that we want. Starting with this rear diffuser that goes around these huge tailpipes. These things are huge. I can borderline fist them. Look, I can fit my fist in the tailpipe. I love that. Ferrari, why couldn't you have sprinkled some of this into there? Guys, I do think that the F12 is a better looking car than the 812, but the rear of the 812 is absolutely legendary. So yes, I love the rear. Not a huge fan of the side, not a huge fan of the front. I think overall the car looks good, but not great. And at $500,000, you're competing with that guy over there. And that's perhaps one of the best looking cars in history. So on the exterior, I would probably give the slam dunk nod to the Aventador S. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. Ay, ay, ay. This interior is absolutely breathtaking. And then he goes like, Mickey, stop exaggerating. Listen, Johnny, have you ever sat in a car that's spec'd so tastefully that you would literally give an arm and a leg to own it? I never have. I've never had a car that has such delicious leathers surrounding every surface and spec'd with this red leather and these white accent piping that just looks so good. This looks expensive. This is where the $500,000 was spent. And as you come around the dash to this area right here, look at this. Look at this steering wheel. This is the only component in this whole car that honestly I would steal right now if I could. Like if they didn't have my credit card, I'd chop this up, I'd take it to my office, I'd hang it up on the wall so I could look at it every single day. I love this steering wheel because it's got everything centered so beautifully to make me feel special, starting with these shift lights above that allow you to actually keep your eye on the road as you're approaching 9,000 RPM. Like you kind of lose your breath, you lose your focus, you lose your ability to drive when you're revving this thing out to 9,000, but these little shifters do help keep you in line just a bit. And then down here, we've got these delicious carbon fiber paddles that feel quintessential Ferrari. Like the last 15 Ferraris I've been in have had the same click, the same satisfaction, the same sensation, and I'm happy that they've stuck with what works because that is incredible. Then we come around to the front of the steering wheel. And the front of the steering wheel is super cool because we have the bumpy road mode and the Manatino. I love how the A12 hasn't gone with all the digital displays that the SF90 has. I'm not a big fan of those digital displays. This is what Ferrari's supposed to be about. And I know everyone's like, screens, tech. Guys, this is a Ferrari. This is a Ferrari. It's supposed to have this, these clicks, this sensation that you're in something special. Whereas with the SF90, you have a little screen that you go, you know, that's not as cool as this. And this, guys, this steering wheel is exceptional. So now I'm gonna take my right foot and I'm gonna hit the red engine start button. Okay. Now I'm gonna give you a couple of revs. Let's go ahead and rev this out to 8,000 and see what it sounds like. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, bro. The first thing I noticed is just how fast this car revs. Like literally, watch this. I'm gonna put my foot all the way down and it goes from 0 to 8,000 like this, watch. What? Have you ever seen an engine that responds that quickly and sounds like a mean cat growling at your face? It is incredible. I love how it sounds. I love when you put your foot down, you get that instant response, and then you get these vibrations through the cabin that feel like you're firing off an M16 or AR-15. That is incredible. Let me go ahead and turn that off. I feel at this juncture that we could probably park this thing on the side of the road and sell tickets at 50 bucks a pop for kids to sit in this seat and rev that engine. But what else about this interior is cool? Well, the last thing I want to talk about are these Daytona racing seats, and I feel like they look so good. Again, whoever spec'd this had so much money that they were willing to throw away thousands of dollars to get this little piping here with the Italian flag, and they matched this with the center console Italian flag for the reverse, the auto, and the PS button, which I still don't know what that means at this juncture in my life. Performance-starte, I don't know Italian, but anyways, that is exceptional. This carbon fiber is beautiful. And look, I sat in an FF a few weeks back when I reviewed that, maybe it was a couple months ago, and I love that interior, even though that was a 2012. It wasn't dated. This thing is 2 notches above that. I feel like this will be next level for at least the next 5 or 10 years to come, and I'm really anxious for what Ferrari's gonna do with the next generation of this car. Nonetheless, I love the interior, and I think that this interior blows, I mean destroys the Aventador S, and honestly, this interior in and of itself would make me want to get this car. But guys, you know, in Miami Miles, we love the exterior and interior and the way cars look, but the most important thing is going for a drive. So let's jump into this guy right here and see if these things give me the sensations that I think they will. So see you in a minute. V12 merging on 826 going north. And guys, this car is so comfortable in its softest settings. Right now it's in sport mode. It's got the bumpy road mode on, and honestly, it absorbs bumps like the best daily drivers of all time. I am blown away. Honestly, this thing could be driven by my wife or my grandma every single day. The thing that I don't like that much is the fact that it's actually quite quiet. You can't really hear that V12 resonate into the cabin as much as I would like. That's, it's nothing that an exhaust can't fix, but I wish from factory it was just a little bit louder. But guys, you guys don't come to Miami Miles for drives in comfort mode. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this little finger here, switch the Manatino to race, and then we're going to downshift into second gear. Oh my goodness, a downshift. And then we're going to put the foot down. Oh my God! The moment you put your foot down, you are hurled at the horizon at such speed, and you can feel as the traction control is trying to reel in your two rear tires, keeping you from spinning off into the sidewall. This is unbelievable. I'm going 80, 90, 100. Whoa! All right, downshift, downshift, downshift. Oh my goodness. Now I read in Ferrari's press release that this thing can execute 3 downshifts in a second. Let's give that a shot. So we're in 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Yep, that sounds about right. Boom. Foot all the way down. 9,000. 9,000. 120 miles an hour in about 3 seconds. Honestly, guys, I haven't been in a car this fast since my McLaren 600 LT. This thing takes your breath away. The moment you put your foot down, it pins you back into the seat, and the G-forces almost make it so you can't speak. I cannot believe this engine is so good. I have never felt anything like this. Guys, I always used to tell you, the GT3 engine is the best. It's the most magical. It gives you the most fizz. This thing is unbelievable. This 12-cylinder, 6.5-liter engine producing 800 horsepower is next level. I think it is a tad bit more special than my GT3. Here's second gear again. Let's go. 9,000. 9,000. Look, I'm just struggling to keep my head held up because the sheer force of this car hurling itself at the horizon. Like, guys, this is unbelievable. But guys, okay. I can't even talk. I've never felt a car like this before. I don't know how the Aventador will ever measure up to this level of sharpness and Italian magic fused together to make what is perhaps a perfect automobile. But before, guys, we jump into the Aventador, let me tell you a little bit more about the drive. We've talked about the engine. You guys know that is next level. Let's talk about this transmission. This transmission delivers shifts unlike any other dual clutch I've ever felt. They've engineered some level of fun into it. Like when you do it, it blips the throttle so instantly. It's like you're operating an M16 or an AR-15 machine gun. The moment you pull the up or down paddle, how this thing delivers gears is unreal. I've never felt a dual clutch like this. Like even thinking back to my 600 LT, this thing has way more emotion. This powertrain is perhaps the best powertrain from transmission to dual clutch I've ever felt. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but that's just what I feel from the seat of my pants. And honestly, guys, I love the steering as well. The first thing I noticed about the steering is how nice and soft and not twitchy it is at low speeds. But when you actually put some pace into the journey and put your foot all the way down, the steering, I don't know if it's dynamic because it is electric, it makes the responses that much quicker. So if I downshift here into 3rd, 2nd, okay, and I kind of put my foot down a little bit, that's already an obscene speed. And I turn right there. It's like the car knows that you're trying to go fast, and it makes your steering inputs that much more sensitive. So it's like a steering that understands what you're trying to do before you try to do it. I've never felt anything like that in my life. Now, if we calm this down, put it in a calm mode, upshift a few times, put it in auto, the car becomes a civilized human being. It's no longer somebody that's going to get itself into trouble. It's no longer a car that's going to rip your face off. And just by flipping this, putting it in manual, giving yourself a couple downshifts, and putting your foot down, you encounter what is perhaps the best car in history. I don't know, guys, how the Aventador is going to measure up because even those brakes are immense. Even the brakes are good. There's nothing I don't like about this. This is quickly climbing my ranks of favorite cars I've ever driven. And God, I've driven a lot of them. And I know I get this emotional in all my reviews, but I've never driven anything like this ever. As we drive by the booby trap, shout out to the booby trap, I am flabbergasted. I am blown away. I cannot wait to jump into the Aventador to see if it is as good as this at delivering emotion. So let's head back and switch into the Aventador to find out if that is the better driving experience. Here we are in the Aventador S in Corsa mode. Ah, I love it! Woo, brakes. Oh my God, the brakes are sketchy. No! They are terrifying and the car understeers so much. This thing is hilarious. This thing is hilarious. I'm gonna go back down into third, make sure that's not a cop, and my right foot is going to get planted to the floor. Let's go. 8,500. 8,500, 120 miles an hour coming over the bridge from Miami Beach. Oh my goodness. What an experience. What an experience this thing is. It feels like an angry bull. And no, I'm not trying to make a pun with Lamborghini. It really does feel like it's bucking, trying to kick you off its top. It's insane how this thing delivers its experience. But before, I lose control and start talking and blabbing a bunch of nonsense into this camera, let me tell you some actual facts about the car, starting with this engine. This 6.5 liter V12 is such a masterpiece. Check this out. I'm gonna put the little rear window down here. Listen to this. Oh, yes! I love it. I love the engine. I love the way that it builds power. To be frank, it builds power completely different than any other engine I've ever experienced. It's weird because it kind of has this momentum-like build in its horsepower. So you don't really get any torque down low. You get all of the torque up high. So you kind of start not getting your back pushed towards the seat, and by the time you're at 8,500 like this, that's really where you feel the torque. And I think that has to do with the fact that the car itself doesn't have that much torque at 509 pound-feet. It's more of a power car, a car that builds speed. So I love this engine, and that love is also translated into this gearbox. Sure, the gearbox is clunky, and everyone talks about it. Oh, the gearbox is clunky. But guys, that's the whole point. It's to enhance the experience. And to be frank, on the downshift, this is better than most dual clutches. Like, it just delivers the downshift so well. And then on the upshift, you get the drama with the kick to the ass. Okay, up. Okay, onto the brakes. Onto the brakes at 115 miles an hour. Okay, so let me get into the weak point of the car. And definitely the weak point compared to the A12, these brakes are sketchy as hell. If you're going 120 trying to get on those anchors to bring this car to a stop, the car won't stop. The car won't stop. You have to literally mash your foot all the way through the footwell to get this car to stop. So those brakes do hinder the experience just a bit, because it means that you can't drive the car around like an absolute lunatic and enjoy it. Now, that lack of trust can also be extrapolated into the steering. I don't feel like the car transmits any feel. Like, I don't know anything about the road from just feeling the steering wheel. Like, it's not transmitting shit. Which means that, even though I can point the car wherever I want, I don't have like this feeling of a nimble automobile. And it's not nimble by any stretch of the imagination. It's 4,200 pounds. And sure, the rear wheel steering and this quick rack do make the car react to your every input, but the steering's just not that great. So where does that leave us with this car against the A12? Well, it has a tremendous amount of drama, a tremendous amount of sense of occasion. I feel like I'm in the Batmobile. That's what I feel like when I drive this thing. Like, I feel ultra special. But does that mean that it's a better car than the A12? I don't know. I'm gonna have to pull over and mull it over for a couple minutes to let you guys know. Oh, Aventador S. The Aventador S. I've had a second to collect my thoughts driving up this parking garage, and if I were to boil this down to one thing, it's pure emotion. Imagine that you just had sex 15 straight times, and the person that you're with wants to go again, and you're like, please no, please no. That's what this is. This car is so damn good and it gives you such high highs, but it only gives you those highs. So guys, if I had to pick a winner, I want to boil it down to a few different aspects, starting with performance. Well, performance from the engine to the gearbox, to the steering, to the handling, to the ride, to everything else goes here. But the Aventador does have the drama and it does have the appearance. But guys, honestly, if I were to buy both of these cars and open up my garage to look at them, I would feel bad about owning one of them. The one that wants to screw my brains out all the time. I want, in my relationship, somebody that can screw my brains out, but I want them to be chill and reserved and have a conversation with me once in a while. This thing doesn't know a word of English. It just knows how to slap you in the face and crawl at your back. That's all it does. It claws at your back and it annoys the shit out of you, but you love it for it. So guys, to be frank though, that's not quite for me. That's gonna be for the billionaire type that's got a bunch of money and maybe 7 girlfriends. This is Dan Bilzerian, represented in a car. This is Chris Harris. This is somebody refined and sophisticated, and for that I love it. Honestly, I'm considering dropping everything, taking all my money, selling my wife, selling my son, selling my house, mortgaging myself, and selling my body on the street to get one of these. I am in love. Ferrari, you did an excellent job, and I'm gonna give you a big ass kiss. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that review. Shit, I did. That was a hell of a lot of fun. If you did, go down below, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, you know, it doesn't really matter. A subscribe, that one matters because we're gonna keep popping out content like this every single day. Apart from that, I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care.
Bueno, sí.